how I like to think of it is, if you are playing a game of darts, you can either decide to pay someone to hit the bullseye for you, and then you're going to win, or you tell everyone, if you guys hit the bullseye for me, I'm going to pay you a cut of commission. So for me, the most rewarding part is that we all work into the same objective and we all celebrate.
Hello everybody, it's me, Ed Gould, your host on another unedited conversation, and today it's all about affiliate marketing, and who better to get their take on affiliate marketing than the lead for affiliate marketing at Samsung UK, Germana Mitrani, who is a fantastic Italian native who's working in the UK. She's worked in agency side, she's worked on a bunch of different product-based clients that you're going to hear about in an agency world, and she now leads Samsung's effort in their marketing team for affiliate marketing. So if you are a marketer, a creative, a technologist, or just a business person trying to work out how to shift those units, then this is a really good podcast. What I love most about the conversation with Germana is that we get into the nitty gritty of how you make affiliate marketing work. So we're going to talk about how you get it set up, what it really is, the pitfalls and the risks, how you overcome those risks, and keep on listening because obviously we have got Louis' lightning round. Louis, give me a hey-ya. Hey, indeed. Louis' lightning round, where we ask her some special questions that are worth listening to, all the way to the end when we also touch on her career ascendancy and how she's got into Samsung and that work. So whether you're an aspiring marketeer looking for how to make the next step, she's got great advice on that. But most importantly, and most fascinatingly, she digs deep into how you optimize affiliate marketing for products like Samsung. So if you're ready, sit back, relax, and get ready for another unedited conversation. Hello everyone, and welcome to another conversation with me, Ed Gould. And today we're doing a deep dive into a topic that confuddles and muddles and confuses many in the marketing set, which is affiliate marketing. And I'm joined by Germana Mitrani from Samsung. I always start by asking you to introduce yourself fully. I've talked to you a lot already, but tell us a bit about who you are, what you do, where you're from.
Yes. So I'm Germana. I come from Italy, as you can tell from my accent. I lived in the UK for 8 years, got my citizenship a few years ago.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We're happy to have you.
Thank you. And I've been at Samsung for 2 years and 3 months. Before Samsung, I was at Awin, which is our affiliate marketing agency. Then we changed, and I was a team leader there. Right now, I'm an affiliate marketing manager for the MX division, which stands for mobile experience. So I manage everything from smartphone, laptops, tablets, watches, anything that is mobile. I look after our affiliate program.
And this is why I'm really pleased you're here, because when you're dealing with a subject like affiliate, you need a big product set to really be able to understand how it can work well. So we're going to dig into, dear listeners, you're going to get a real deep dive into how we're using affiliates, what it is and how it works. But before that, I'm kind of interested in the journey of how you've ended up here rather than Milan.
Yeah, fair. So I was born in Puglia, which is in the south of Italy. And then when I was 16 years old, I asked my parents if I could move to England because I wanted to learn a new language. Well, I wanted to learn English because I knew it would have been helpful for the future. But also I wanted to experience a new culture. So that's how I went to boarding school in the UK when I was 16 until I was 18. My mom was very sad, but she did it for me. And then I went to Milan to study at university. And I actually applied for an internship in Milan at onboard because I was sure I wanted to work in fashion, sure. And then they said, instead of an internship, would you be open to an actual job? But the only opening now is in London. Would you consider London? And I was like, yeah, I mean, just graduated from Milan, free, young, why not? And that's how I moved to London. I soon realized I didn't want to work in fashion anymore. And I got into marketing, and that's basically how then I got into affiliate marketing and Samsung.
And before we came on air, you were talking about that sort of generating the right experience to be ready for a job.
Yes.
And I thought it was, and you know, it's a bit naughty to referencing something that was we were talking about earlier because our listeners didn't hear that conversation. But what I was talking about is how do you actually prepare to get to that role point? And we talked about the fact that you knew when you saw that job application that this was going to be your job. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Of course. So I was a junior account manager at an agency, a smaller agency, and one of the clients were Samsung, massive tech brand. And I was working within the team for Samsung. And there was this lady called Mary. She was the affiliate marketing manager. And I just thought her role was so cool. Like the amount of ownership she had on the output, on the strategy, the budgets. And I was like, I found her so inspirational because I was like, wow, like she has that much control over such a big brand. And I was like, I want to be Mary one day. And so I started building my career and working for electronics brands. And I went from account manager to senior account manager to team leader, but always agency side. But I knew that I wanted to be brand side. And I knew I wanted to work for a big company. And that's basically how I ended up.
And did you target, when you were in the agency, did you target agencies that had clients in the tech sector because you knew you were heading in that direction, or did it happen organically? Or
it kind of happened organically, but also when you apply to roles at agencies, they tell you the clients, and they're like, "Are you happy with the clients?" And my client was Caris. At the time, it was PC World, Caris PC World, Carphone Warehouse, ID Mobile, all of them. And they asked me, would you be happy with these clients? And I was.
And you knew it was part of your plan. So.
I knew. And I knew I didn't want to work in fashion anymore by that point. So I was like, yeah, electronics sounds very cool.
Okay. So, and I think later on, we're going to come back to maybe some advice and tips about how, if you're starting out, and it can be daunting to work out, how do I get to the point where I'm working for what I want to, the brand I want to work for? I think we come back to that. But let's start by really getting into the weeds of what affiliate marketing is all about. So for people that are listening that might, they've heard the term, they're not using it every day, or they've done it a bit. Can you define what affiliate marketing is for our listeners?
Yes, of course. Affiliate marketing is, I think, a lot of different things. It's not just one. It's a marketing channel, one of the many. But I think the easiest way to describe it is by giving you an example. So let's say there's this customer, Sarah. She wants to buy a new smartphone. She goes online and she looks for best smartphones 2025. She looks at a site like Tech Advisor, clicks on it, decides to buy the latest Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra. She goes on to buy the phone, and at that point, Tech Advisor, who is an affiliate partner, gets a commission. Sarah gets her phone. Tech Advisor gets a commission on the sale. Samsung gets the revenue from the sale. So we're all happy. Like, in my opinion, the reason why affiliate marketing is so good is that everyone wins. It's a channel where everyone wins. And yeah, this is in a nutshell, but
I think that's a really good, no, I think it's a really good way of defining the basics. So as a marketing leader, we have all the levers that we can pull. And our bosses are expecting us to hit the numbers or exceed the numbers. And affiliate marketing has always been a great way to add to those numbers as well, without having to do a lot of the work yourself. Other, it's partnering up with people that are able to add to your success, and you're sharing in that. Typically, you're paying a commission. There might be some flat fees, but typically you're paying commissions on those transactions.
Yes, typically, yes.
But as you said, it's a bit more complicated than just that.
Yes.
And I think that's what I'm really interested in getting involved with. With my agency hat on over the years, we've had lots of clients that we've helped set up with affiliate marketing partnerships. And actually, one of our guests in season 1, Ramon Peppers, who we partner up with, does a lot of our affiliate work. And he talks a lot about it in that podcast. So you can also go back and listen to that. But let's dive into the subject a bit more. In terms of a big global brand like Samsung, obviously it's product-led. It is a product company. How important is affiliate marketing in the mix for them? What does the sort of resource look like and the marketing function look like within there? Who else are you working with? What are the components that make it work in that sort of setting?
Yes, so affiliate marketing is one of the main channels when it comes to bringing revenue to clients, if you do it right. So there are so many affiliate partners, cashback sites, content sites, CSS partners, display, influencers. There's so much, which is why at the start I said it's much more than just one. So to do it right, you need to work with as many partners and diversify your affiliate portfolio as much as you can, because then everyone works for you to drive that revenue for you or whatever your desired action is. Within the marketing channel mix, I couldn't possibly say how much we bring in terms of revenue from my perspective, but I can tell you it's very substantial when it comes to last action, so last click. When you want to, there is our PR team, which we work with. We work with our brand team, our commercial team. There are so many teams I work with, because you asked about which stakeholders we work with. But at the end, without them, the affiliate marketing wouldn't really work. I don't know if it answers the question.
But well, it does, because I think that sometimes it could be considered something separate, but actually it is a channel, and you need all of those other people to work with you. But in your team, how many people are working specifically on affiliates within your team?
Specifically on affiliates is 3 of us.
3 of you. And then an agency team on top and partners to do that?
Specifically it's just 3, but if you think about our agency, Rakuten, they are 6 people working for us. And without them, we couldn't possibly do everything we do, because doing affiliate marketing at scale, it's complicated. You need a lot of eyes. You need a lot of people to work. So at Samsung, I work within the DTC team, direct to consumer, where our main objective is to drive sales to Samsung.com and not via our retailers, for example.
Yeah.
And these guys from Rakuten, our team, all work with the same objective in mind. Then there are other teams that work with retailers, for example. Yeah. It's different.
So I loved the example you gave earlier about an individual that's buying something. So if we expand on those sorts of examples and we think about how that works, you guys are launching products all of the time.
Yeah.
There's tons of different products that you personally, I guess, are responsible for in your segment. Then you've got other team members with their own segments. Mm-hmm. How do you manage the requests and I bet you're a very popular person because everyone sees it as a channel to drive growth.
Exactly.
So how does that work and how do you manage that?
Yeah, so it's sometimes challenging because we have different product categories and different product category managers per category. So obviously they all have their own agendas and they all want us to push their products. So in order for me to manage that, you sometimes need to think about the bigger picture. And so what will benefit DTC directly? So if my main objective is to drive revenue, would it be better to spend my budget on low AOV products or spend it on higher AOV products? And then at Samsung in general, I would say everything is data-driven in my role. So it's very easy to manage it when you put the data in front of the people. So it
takes the emotion away a bit.
Yeah, it's all nice and well when they're like, oh yeah, we just launched a new pair of buds. Please spend your budget on my buds because I need to make more sales of the buds, when we know that the top selling product is something else within another category. So once you show them, look, if we push the buds, our ROAS is going to be massively impacted. You don't want to do that to our own department. They understand, and then you basically manage your budgets that way. So I will always keep a cut of budget for one of the other categories, but most of the budget will go into the top selling category.
And so you've got you're managing that sort of balance of spend from your own budget.
Yes.
Is there internal budgets coming from those different teams where they're saying spend a bit? So you're also layering up activity on top?
There's so many
just layer on pots. Layers on layers. And
there's my budget internally, local budget. There's the brand budget. There's the European budget. There's so many budget pots, and then you need to come together and manage each pot and decide where to allocate what.
So if you let's pretend you weren't at Samsung
Yeah.
And you were doing this job somewhere else, and and I was interviewing you for your job, and I was saying, okay, we really want to start driving affiliate marketing here. Perhaps I'm a broadband company, which is a typical sort of affiliate model as well. What were the steps that you would go through to start making sure you set up a consciously and strategic approach to affiliate? What should people be thinking about if they're trying to develop out their affiliate plan?
Yeah, I think the first thing you should think about is your audience. So who is my target audience? That's the one thing I would always keep in mind before launching any campaign. So if you want to launch an affiliate program for broadband customers, think about, for your broadband brand, think about your customers. And then think about where would they go to shop for the best deals. So say you switch, a money saving expert. Usually a broadband customer will go on price comparison sites and check the best deals. So from there, I know already I want to work with price comparison sites as my first affiliate. It's very important. Another big affiliate site would be like Top Cashback, Widco, those cashback partners, because broadband customers can get cashback if they buy a new broadband deal. So I would work with the audience in mind down, like checking which, for instance, with influencers. Influencers are always part of the mix, but are they as important for a broadband site as they are for a fashion site? Maybe not. So I would prioritize based on...
It's classic marketing.
Yeah.
It's understanding that customer.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you find you have to layer in the detail around... Often companies and brands will have a handle on personas, but sometimes my frustration is they're quite light. So they'll go, "Oh, our persona is John, and he enjoys walks in the park," and he, and it's quite ephemeral. There's not a lot of substance in there when you come to think about real activity. Do you find that you have to do extra work, and what are the usual things that miss out of a customer profile that you need to make it work for an affiliate?
So for us, one thing that we do, for instance, when we think about the persona, is we really put ourselves in their shoes. So say, for example, we want to promote this product and we think we want to target the student audience. We can't just think, oh, we want to target student audience, so we work with UnEdited or Student Beans, which are student partners. No, we need to think about what creative that student is going to see. Is he going to relate to the creative? So we would do a photo shoot with different models who are Gen Z, with outfits that are trendy now, with in a location that a student would go to. So really put yourself into their shoes and show them what they want to see. And so it's much deeper than just John, a student who studies there.
And I think that for me is sometimes the challenge with affiliate marketing. The assumption is it's easy, and that I'm just going to switch on affiliate marketing and it's going to, I'm going to be rich. I've never really seen it work like that. How much effort do you and your team, or if we keep with the example, we're doing it for someone else, how much effort should we put into creating specific assets, storylines for specific channels about a product?
So it's not that it doesn't work if you don't. It's that it works better. It can work,
yeah.
Like it possibly will work anyway, but it's going to work better. So I would put effort in it because it's going to optimize your performance. But I'm not going to lie, it's not that if you go live with a normal asset, it's not going to deliver. Yeah. It's going to deliver. But we've seen up to 60% increase in conversion rates when using assets that are targeted to our audience.
So for the effort, it's worth it. And I guess if you're sat there wondering, well, what does 60% look like? Just scale it based on the budgets and the targets that you've got. And it's quite quick then to work out how much you could afford to spend on that versioning. And that versioning could be as simple as a slightly different language or storyline, all the way through to video content that will be served, image content that will be served, or surrounding PR and earned media and social. So do the teams like the PR and earned media team support the success of affiliate, do you think, on a channel level? Or is it more that my product or service that I've asked you to work with me on, we're going to push that through affiliates, and there's also going to be that glow of communication around earned media. So does the earned media ever get down to channel level in affiliates or not really?
What do you mean?
Well, so say you were going to do a big push, the example on the student translation piece. Okay, so we're going to do a lot on channels that are relevant to university age people. And we're going to pick a product that's specifically good for that at a price point that's great. Would there ever be earned media activity on social, organic, or PR that's specifically designed to enhance that story from your guys' point of view?
Yeah, I'd say yes, in that we all work together, but it's not like a conflict.
No, it's a team effort.
It's
against
a team effort. Yes,
so everyone's
exactly.
going, okay, let's all go after students.
So let's go all after students. So my PR team will work with student sites, content sites, but then we can work with them to insert affiliate links within the site.
Yes.
So
you've said it much better than I could get to.
So yeah, it's not like we argue because for example, PR team will pay amount of tenancy to this site. They help us because they check all the content, and then we just insert there the affiliate link.
Yeah.
So and the influencers too. So we have our organic social media team. They go live with video content that is targeting students. But then we, from our side, can work with micro influencers that also promote via user-generated content the same product, also targeting students. We work together.
So we've got in our imaginary new company that we set up together, and it's already going very well, I can tell. We've got our sort of start of a strategy, and we've got to start to build out. So I then want to work out how I actually deploy this affiliate strategy. Like, what are your tips in terms of actually starting to do that? Are there platforms? Are there tools you use? You come from an agency background, and I always love someone from an agency background because they respect and understand the value that an agency adds. So it's great to hear that. But what would your starting points be on that side of things?
Yeah. So first of all, let's pretend this brand is super new. So we're starting from scratch here. Like, get in touch with an agency because they help massively and they have all the knowledge. They're experts in this field, so they can tell you which are the top trending affiliate sites. How can you build a tracking link? What assets perform better within affiliate marketing? So all of this, definitely talk to an agency. In our case, it's Rakuten. So get onboarded there. Then the second step is you start onboarding the affiliate partners that will work for you. I would ask the agency, for our competitors, who are the top affiliates that deliver for these brands? And then they're like, oh, XYZ, let's onboard these top 20 ones. Once those are on, then we can think about optimizing the program and onboard others. Then you provide them with copy, so the marketing message you want to push, the asset you want to push, the tracking links. We usually link to a buy page product because it increases conversions. So you provide affiliates with everything they need to promote your product, and then you activate, and then you hope your program flies.
Doesn't she make that sound simple, everybody?
So simple.
and in many ways it is. When you say you link to a buy page product because it increases, what does that mean?
Yeah, sorry. Sometimes I just assume, but
assume nothing. Treat me like the fool I am.
So we have our homepage. You go on Samsung.com. There's the homepage. Then there are category pages: smartphones, tablets, laptops. Then there is the buy page, so specific S25 Ultra buy page where you literally click one button and it's in your basket. That's where we link. Make it easy to the customer.
Straight to the conversion page.
Yes, and make it easy.
I mean, it's a really good point, and it's a topical one in my world at the moment because we were just evaluating a load of performance advertising, so programmatic in this instance, and a client partner was dedicated to pushing the traffic to a certain page, but it was so many steps away from conversion that, and until then, the team that they'd been working with, I think, had been saying, oh, it's working really well because we've got all of this traffic coming through to this page that you said that you wanted it to. But no one had challenged them and said, but what's the point? Because you've got to take 3 or 4 steps after that. What's your Google Analytics? Where are people dropping off? And it took about 10 minutes to identify that that's not the right place to do that. And it does surprise me how often we find that situation where either, and it can be in-house, it can be agency, it can be everyone that gets that wrong. So reviewing that all the time of where these affiliate links are coming through to and controlling that, I guess is one of the things why you do need you. And you don't only need you need to have the understanding as well. It's got to be a team effort.
Yeah. And a lot of A/B testing. It's not that you just know. You A/B test different links, location, copy, assets.
Over time, and then you develop what works the best.
Or, for example, A/B test if you're sending a push notification to your customers. Do you lead with the offer? Do you lead with the lifestyle messaging? Test. And then that's how you get and you scale and you optimize your program.
So there's a lot of comparables between performance marketing and advertising. There's a necessity for the person managing this, you in your case, to understand the customer, the channels themselves, not just the idea of what affiliate marketing is, but how you can use that in the right way. Because if you're completely beholden to an agency, you're not going to be able to control that. I imagine when they our great new business that we've set up, the agency comes back to us and said, here's like the top 50 I think you should think about. We need to have a view on whether that's going to be right for us, I guess, from a brand positioning point of view. And it kind of gets onto the risks, I guess, of where things might go awry in our new endeavor. Now I've hired you as my top affiliate person. What are you going to look after for me, and what are you looking out for that could be risks as we get going? So we've got our affiliate program going, money's coming in, stuff's working, there's data, there's numbers, and the boss can see some numbers, which is great. But understanding those numbers, I guess, is the starting point of one of the things that you'll be doing. But what are the key risks that you're looking out for?
Yeah, there are a few risks.
Always are.
Yeah, like one is, for example, you could give a partner, an affiliate partner, an exclusive code, and that's meant for them. But then it can leak. I don't know if you are aware of O2K deals. We've had a situation where a code has leaked.
And people look for codes instantly anyway, don't they? People now are going, oh.
Yeah, always. But like when something leaks, then your sales go crazy. And it's good, but it's also bad, because if you are a small brand like our new invented brand that
small
we just
at the
created.
moment, but it's growing.
It's growing. Very ambitious small brand. But like if you're a small brand and then your sales go mental, you might eat into much more of your margins, more than you thought of, because if you thought the exclusive code was for one partner, but then now O2K Deals has posted it, it's everywhere. That's like one risk. And
I guess on that instance, before we go on, the finance team might have qualified that exclusive code for a certain principles, a certain volume of sales.
Exactly.
And if you go over that, there's a brilliant, a guy called Frederick Boyson, who was one of the last interviews in season 1. You talked about ROAM and ROAS, like return on. So he's coined a new approach to that, because he was one of, the story goes, he was one of, Facebook loved him in the early days. Okay. He was spending more through Facebook than anyone else, because all the numbers were coming back saying it's great. But what those calculations weren't taking into account were supply chain, delivery mechanism, where those products were coming from, stock, like can you keep up with it? Yeah. And it almost all went. You know, this is a guy that you should listen to this story. You'll love it. He's a really good guy. And so he came up with this new approach of thinking about that, which is designed to bring sort of the finance team and the marketing team a bit closer, because the truth is, you don't want things going. You might think you're acing it because you've got loads of sales, and you could turn around and the CFO could say, you bloody idiot.
Yeah, and that's a risk with affiliate marketing. Sometimes it works well, it works too well, and you're like, whoa. Like I once went for a lunch break. This was in my previous role, and I had specific budget from a specific supplier, and within half an hour we sold so many watches. I was like, like we overspent, and that's like, it can happen. It's a risk. The other risk I would say is that affiliate partners are third parties, basically. So you're giving them the power to promote your brand, and you are hoping that they do it right, but sometimes they just don't. So you tell them, use these creatives, use this copy, use these terms and conditions. But when you work at scale, it's difficult to manage every single affiliate partner, they're promoting.
How do you keep
So
on top of that.
We keep on top of it by having our agency, like, thanks guys, like I love them, because without them, I don't know how, but they run audits constantly, like every day, check websites. We also have
So they're
some
flagging issues. They're going,
issues.
I'm a bit worried about this one.
Yeah.
What do you think? And
Another big risk in the affiliate marketing industry is that sometimes publishers or affiliates, as I call them, publishers, affiliates is the same things, but basically they promote our brand bidding on our keywords when they're not allowed to. They shouldn't do it, and we tell them you shouldn't do it, but sometimes they do it anyways.
Okay, let's unpack. This is an interesting one. So you've got a partner from an affiliate point of view that you promise to give a commission if they're so in their minds they're going, I need to shift as many of these as possible, and they start bidding on display advertising.
Exactly, or CSS or Google Shopping.
Yeah. And so and the impact of that is what?
Well, if they do it, they get a warning. If they do it again, we delete them from our affiliate marketing program.
And I get, because it's going to increase the cost of your guys internally are going to shout at you, going,
Sam
what's
and Alex
going
are
on?
like, who is this dodgy publisher promoting our, our
Suddenly the cost of your advertising increases.
Yeah, and then we're competing
again,
against ourselves.
That's going to offset the deal value, the return. It's so. This is why on the surface it's so simple, but to really optimize it, that's why it's so good talking to you. These little points that make a difference at scale.
Yeah, but there are tools to manage this. There are third parties that will flag straight away if someone is bidding on your keywords and they're not allowed to. Bam, screenshot, tell you, and so now we can pretty much straight away find out and remove them. First of all, we would not pay them commission because they were doing something against terms and conditions.
And would that be in the terms of you have your own contracts from legal?
Yeah.
So, sorry, in our new company, we'll need to draw up some contracts for the affiliates rather than use theirs.
Yeah. Well, yeah, of course. You need to tell them what they should do.
I know you
and
think
do.
that's ridiculous, but if you come into this and you don't know what you're doing, then they will give you a contract, but you really need to think about whether that's going to tick the box on both sides. I think, yeah. Okay. What are the other risks?
The risks from a brand perspective, I need to. So there is the bidding, the fact that sometimes they will affiliates will, for instance, promote an offer that say it's expiring in 2 weeks and say urgent, do it buy now, expiring. That's risky for us because legally is not compliant because it's not true. We can't give customers wrong information. We can't say buy it, offer is expiring when it's actually expiring in 2 weeks.
And this starts going into sort of regulatory.
Compliance.
Compliance, advertising standards.
Yeah.
And you are in a world with affiliates, and there's brilliant affiliate partners out there, but there's also tons of not so great affiliate partners out there.
Yeah.
And I think as a consumer, when you talked about earlier about, we are in those shoes. We are consumers, and think about those times when you're looking at something and you don't buy it. It just looks too dodgy and it just looks too sus.
Yes.
You really don't want your brand on that channel. And
No.
I think, I look at those and I'm not going to pick out individual things, but there's a number of times when and people now are conscientious purchasers. People don't always buy the cheapest price. They're looking for the right level of trust as well. How do you build trust into that affiliate model? Is it about the selection of those partners? Is that an important part of trust?
Yeah, it's important to select the right partners. It's also, we make sure that we're having a consistent approach across all marketing channels. So that's how you also make the customer trust you more. So if, for example, we have just launched a new product and an affiliate is promoting an old one with very old assets that was launched in 2010, then that won't build trust for the customer because he sees inconsistent things while we're all the same brand where we should all work, consistently. So that's, for me, also how we build trust is to ensure that within DTC, we're all aligned, the CRM team, the brand team, the paid media team, me, my colleagues, all aligned and all using the same creatives, similar copy, the on-site team, and that's how you build trust, I think, from our perspective.
I think so, and not letting control go as well. To what I've been listening to as you've been and imagining, I feel that our new business is going to go great because we're thinking about how we control every element of the marketing mix and not just releasing affiliates into the wild and thinking it's all going to be great. It needs the same amount of consideration and thought as any of your other strategy. Okay, let's take a pause for a second because as my regular listeners will know by now, Louis, who hides in the darkness at the back of the room. Louis, are you there? He said he's there. He has Louis' lightning round, which has given us some mixed results so far, I think it's fair to say. But let's see what Louis got in store for us today.
No time to think. No messing around. Get your answers ready. It's Louis' lightning round.
It doesn't get old. That just doesn't get old, Louis.
I'm so curious now.
Here comes the first one.
What's the most rewarding part of working in affiliate marketing?
So the most rewarding part is that we're all a winner in affiliate marketing. How I like to think of it is if you are playing a game of darts, you can either decide to pay someone to hit the bullseye for you, and then you're going to win, or you tell everyone, if you guys hit the bullseye for me, I'm going to pay you a cut of commission. So for me, the most rewarding part is that we all work into the same objective and we all celebrate when the desired action happens.
I think often in business generally, when real partnership, that's where some of the best results come out of. Otherwise, we're all islands. We're all trying to... So it's quite nice. It's probably one of... There's in the creative space within marketing, we all work in collaboration a lot to get a job done. If we're making, a big ad campaign and you've got like people on logistics, you've got people filming, you've got people creating the idea. It's all about bringing that together in partnership and winning together. But often on the strategic side or the management side, people are sort of in their zones doing their thing.
Yeah.
So affiliate is a nice one where it brings other people into that mix that aren't part of our new business to rival Samsung or Samsung itself.
Exactly.
And it also, I like how it brings another view in as well.
Yes.
Which is important. But good question, Louis. Well done. That was very emotional.
One tool you couldn't do your job without.
One tool I couldn't do my job without. Let me think. Tool. Well, like our platform that measures the data. Like I couldn't do my job without it's called Looker, but it's like a tool that...
A brilliant Italian name as well. There you go.
Looker.
Okay, Looker. Oh, not Looker.
Looker. Measures data. I could not do my job without analyzing data.
I guess we didn't, in our amazing interview and our idea about our business, we never talked about how you measure success on the end of that and report. Let's come back to that in a second, but let's do question 3 first from Louis' lightning round.
What's the best performing campaign you've ever worked on?
Ooh, best performing campaign. Let me think, because we've run so many. But, Eureka. When we launched our S24 device, it was an incredible success because it was the first time that we launched Galaxy AI. And we did it before anyone else in the competition.
Were pretty much first to market.
I remember
that. There's not often I remember the answer to these.
I could not sleep in that. I was like messaging with my colleagues. We're like, oh my God, we're flying, we're trending everywhere. It's going amazing. And all our affiliate partners were part of the big success because they all helped us get there. But it was just a massive success.
And it's those moments in our industry where you're celebrating wins together.
Yes.
Or not even wins, just moments that, that those are sometimes few and far between. So when it happens like that, it's so memorable and so rewarding, I think, as well.
It was so rewarding.
That's really cool. So, Louis, well done. Good questions.
Thanks, Louis.
And I'm not going to let you know that he did those at the last minute in 10 minutes because he was late to do it. That would be unprofessional of me. But good work. Let's come back to that question of measuring success and I think let's broaden that out, communicating it effectively. We often on this pod and in conversations I have with people I mentor or working with, the challenges of communicating effectively within corporate structures or with clients or with our colleagues, that's both up and downstream, like to our bosses that are going, what's going on? And to our team that are going, are we doing the right thing? You've got data, but data's sometimes impenetrable for some people as well. So how do you go about, obviously the platform you've touched on there. So from the hard measures, how do you do that? The hard measurement of whether it's worked or not, and whether you continue with a channel or you stop a channel. But then maybe we come on from there to the softer things of reporting of that within the organization. How have you sort of found that, and how do you do that day to day?
So success changes depending on what you want to achieve, obviously. Like, it's not only that we want to generate revenue. Sometimes success is having so many people create user-generated content for your brand and increasing brand engagement. Sometimes success is click-through rate. Sometimes, like, success changes. So how do you measure success? First of all, define what is success for you before you go live with a campaign. And then to measure it, you basically see if my KPI is revenue, how much revenue have I generated? So if I say, I don't know, I want X amount, if I generate more than that, very successful. If I hit my forecast, great. If I don't, not very successful. But in my opinion, to be honest, even when it's not very successful, you still learn. So it's always like test and learn. So yeah, that's
how do you shape that story? Because that story of success is different to different audiences as well. I mean, if I'm working with a team, I'm going to get into the numbers with them. I'm going to say, look, this was great. This was the higher performing message than this. Let's do more of that.
Yeah.
But to the client, or maybe upstream, and to the people that don't understand, there's a slightly different story. How have you learned to shape how you communicate within a big corporate company like Samsung?
Yeah. So I think one thing that I learned is when communicating upwards, so with like more senior people, when you want to sell in your idea, you tell them what they would be missing out if they don't go with your idea. So that's also like my advice if you want to try something new and convince someone to buy into your idea. Don't show them what the idea can bring. Show them what they would be missing out if they don't go for it. So that's
a really interesting idea. Give me an example in our new business.
So I'm like, I really want to work with this new partner, but they're new. They've never worked with us before. Instead of saying if we work with them, they can drive 10% more growth for our company, I say our competitors are working with them. They're driving this much for our competitors. If we do not work with them, we're going to miss out on 10% of revenue, extra incremental revenue. We're also going to miss out on potential audience that will buy with our competitors instead of us. So you show them what are you going to miss out on if you don't. So that's just like...
That's super smart.
Yeah. And that tends to work. And when you communicate downwards, I think, like, for me, because I work the agency side, I work for other people, what I really appreciate is gratitude. So when you thank people for what they do for you, don't expect someone to do it just because, but like always be kind in asking. And so whenever I communicate with the team and other people, I tell them basically, how grateful I am, and like make them feel part of the
because you've done this has resulted in this.
Yeah, like they are. Like, I think, honestly, it's important.
Did you experience that as you came up through agency?
Yes, I did. As in
people thanking you, and people. I mean, often one of the criticisms that gets thrown at agencies, and I've had this thrown at in our own, is that it's so fast paced that often, people forget to make time for that.
Yeah.
And we're constantly having to remind ourselves, and because there is such value, and the people are valued heavily, but reminding yourself to make it clear seems to be more important than ever nowadays.
Yeah, personally, it is. When I worked the agency side, I could see there were different clients. There's the client who expects you to do stuff, and they're just like, of course they're going to do it, I'm the client. And then there's the client who expects you to do stuff because you still work for them, but they're so grateful for what you do and they never take it for granted.
Who did you work harder for?
Obviously the second one, but obviously.
I can't say anything that you're saying there, but yeah.
100%.
It's just a fact.
It's a fact, like, and that's why I try to be that client. And like the team knows, sometimes we're super busy, so we just say yes, no, approved, not signed off. But then when we jump on a call, Like you always remind them how grateful you are for all they do.
What do you think? Because you've got a unique view on this. You've been agency and you're now in one of the biggest corporations that you can kind of be in, really. What do you think the secret of a good relationship is within agency, corporate, in that sense? When does it work really well? Because you just gave your agency a shout out, which I loved to hear. Well done, guys. You're obviously doing something right. Contracts in place for a little bit longer. But what do you think the sort of the secret sauce is within a good relationship?
For me, is like treating the agency as part of like an extended part of your team. So they work for you, they work with you, not for you. We all work together. We all have the same objective. So for example, when we did our latest product launch, I was like, guys, come along to our office. They were within the room with us. We were all working together. So that is one. Secondly, personal relationship. It's not just work. Like we're all humans. So like going to the pub, having a beer. Yeah, like sharing personal life.
So in the old days, we used to spend too much time in the pub doing that. Now, in a healthy world, a lot of people don't want to go and go, but you can still find ways of those moments. Go for a coffee. Don't talk about work. Talk about something other than work. Sometimes is a good thing.
We try to meet them in person often.
When have you got any tips for agencies in terms of when they get it wrong and they don't understand a corporate structure? Because, is there any tips there you can offer?
I think when they get it wrong, when they think too much about the detail and not so much about maybe the speed. So when you work for a big corporation, it's fast paced, so you need things quick. While sometimes one thing the agency could do is that they get so focused on, for example, the detail and the idea, and when we just need quick.
Yeah, I recognise that. And there's also an element of it's sometimes quite hard when you're, I'm speaking as an agency guy and a creative guy. You believe so much in your idea. It can sometimes be hard to let go of that.
Yes.
But there are moments when you just have to let go of it. And when you don't, it can cost you a relationship because you're not really getting that the person on your side of the table has to move on. They can't keep... There was also this stat that I've mentioned a few times before. I think you're spending about 10% of your time with all of your agency suppliers, whereas they're thinking about you a lot of the time. You're thinking about them a little bit of the time. So use that time together as effectively as possible. And I think adding those social moments in is a really good tip. Okay, so we're coming towards the end, but of our conversation, what I love about it is that we've managed to demonstrate that with our new company, which will be coming out soon. I've got no idea what we're selling and how we're selling it, but it's good. But has there been any sort of lessons you've learned or tips people or something someone said that you use that you can pass on maybe, or some advice that you use today in your work?
Yeah, I think from a personal perspective on how I got to where I wanted to be. So one tip would be know where you want to go before you try to go there. Otherwise, you get lost if you don't know your journey. So that's one tip. Another one is, and I mentioned this to you before, but I'm going to mention it for the audience too now, is 80% of the time do your work and 20% of the time talk about the work you do, because you're your own brand advocate. So you just want to shout about your successes. And if you do a lot of A/B tests, for example, and you don't talk about it to the business, other people won't know that you've done it and they can't take on your learning. So share. Like
I loved both these points when you mentioned them, because
so important.
I think what I like most about the 80-20 is that number might change, that balance will change. When you start your career, you're just doing work.
Yeah.
And then by the time you finish it, you're just talking about the work other people are doing. I've always loved and kept a healthy percentage of both. But I think what I love about the 80-20 as a sort of guide is what's often most important is making shit happen.
Yes.
Excuse the swear there, but
fair enough.
You've got to do the work. There's some people that get it wrong and just talk about themselves and how successful they are the whole time. You think you're not actually doing anything. Yeah. There's some people that work their asses off and get really upset that no one understands. And so making sure you've got that healthy balance of making it clear that the practice, and it is a practice, it's a skill and that you've developed. This isn't a hobby. This is your work, and this is something you should be proud of, that you're extolling those virtues and you're telling people. And the A/B testing is a great example, because otherwise they go, I think we should do something different. You go, no. I've tested
exactly.
this.
That's happened the whole time.
I've tested this
Trust
multiple
me.
times. I respect your view, but this is my project. This is what I'm doing, and I will be. You can base the results. You can judge me on the results rather than. So I think that's a really great piece of advice to leave you with, and I'm really grateful for that. You mentioned you're talking at an event. You mentioned to me what's happening next with you. What are you excited about? What's happening in the future?
So there's a conference called PI Live. It's on the 21st and 22nd of October. I'm going to be talking there. It's a big stage.
Exciting.
Exciting.
What are you going to be talking about?
Influencers, e-commerce. It's a big part of what we're doing at Samsung at the moment. So it's going to be also a nice way to spread a bit of more awareness around it, but also how the content creators, basically economy, is now changing and shaping brand strategy.
Okay.
So yeah.
Well, maybe down the line we'll get you back to talk about that subject, because that's a whole topic.
It's a whole topic
in itself.
Yes.
It's one that we've touched on a few times, but we've never really dug into the weeds of it. So I'd love to stay in touch and find out what that is. I might even make it along. You never know. You never know. I want to thank you so much. If people want to get in touch and ask you, are you happy for them to do that?
100%.
LinkedIn.
Don't
give your address.
No, I won't give you but LinkedIn, yes. Email.
Great.
That's it.
So we're going to drop some notes into the show notes below, and you can obviously, if you're listening to this, you can head over to watch the full version on film as well. But I want to thank you again for joining us today.
Thank you so much. It was so fun.
It was great, and as they so often are, and that was another unedited conversation.
That's a wrap on another episode of Unedited. Make sure to like, subscribe and turn on those notifications so you never miss an episode. Find all of our updates on your favourite social media and podcast platforms. Just search for the Unedited Podcast.